Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Brothers Take podcast. I am Chris. I am joined by my brothers, Eric
Hello.
and Adam.
Hey,
He has
Threw me
returned.
off.
Oh, because I went Eric
Hello.
first? Yeah. See, I keep you on your fucking toes. I only did it in that order this time because you're back, and for the last while it's been me and Eric. Anyway, I said that like it's a bad thing. Me and Eric, we had a great time.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No,
It's grand.
we talked Jedi spoiler cast and everything.
We
Like,
did,
we had a
yeah.
great time. But in this week's episode, with the return of Adam, the reunion of all three, we have Summer Game Fest to be talking about. The showcase from Jeff Keighley and the Xbox showcase. I don't know if you have seen other things, but if anyone has and wants to chat about it, we can talk about them too. And we'll have everything time stamped. So if there's a particular thing that you want to like listen to more than anything else, like maybe you checked out Summer Game Fest and you didn't bother with Xbox Showcase, or vice versa, and you just want to hear that, you can use the timestamps to jump to the point of the conversation you want to listen to. Because we'll also have a bit of a catch up at the start with Adam now that he's back. And we've all been doing different things lately, so worth shouting out those things too. So again, if you're just here for the game and stuff, you can jump ahead. But if you want to hear the whole conversation, welcome to the chat, and we'd love to hear from you guys too. So if you watch this YouTube, jump down to the comments at any point to share your thoughts on anything we bring up. And if you enjoyed this discussion, why not give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell for all future content. To those of you listening to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on anything that we bring up in this week's episode. But without further ado, let's fucking go. World premiere. I love Jeff got rid of them. Xbox went, we'll have them. Here you go. But anyway, we'll park that for a second. Adam, how have you been?
I've been alright. I've been in a different world, really.
Yeah.
A whole new world.
We said you were working abroad. We never said where you were or anything like that.
Right.
But
We never will. It's
we never will. It's a mystery. Yeah.
Secret.
And we're not saying what Adam does. We're not saying where he was. It actually can't be told.
International Space Station.
Yes.
no access to nothing.
Yeah, so like you've come back and suddenly I'd say like your Twitter or Facebook or just went like fucking crazy as soon as you landed in Ireland, did it?
Well, not really, but
Oh,
it's like because I mean, it's not as if like
nobody wanted to talk to you.
it's not as if notifications get like kind of backlogged or anything like that, you know.
I get you.
But there's definitely I've missed a lot for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, while you were away, was there anything cool that you got up to or anything that you wanted to talk about that you did in your downtime when you weren't working? Was there anything cool?
I was playing Tears of the Kingdom.
Hey, I was kind of getting at that. Because we haven't played it.
No.
How is it?
It's very fun. Yeah, I didn't play much of it, but the amount that I did, I did play a lot, but I didn't play much of the main story. Let's just say.
I don't think anyone has.
I was like, I'm supposed to go that way, but I'm gonna go this way.
Like I've heard people's impressions of the game, and they're like, I'm 60 hours in. I've done none of the story.
Yeah.
You know, because people are just
it's
enjoying the
kind of-
sandbox.
Well, I think it's because I know where everywhere is because of the Breath of the Wild, so I'm just kind of like trying to go to places I visited before, see what's new or different.
So is it like God of War Ragnarok in a sense where it's like it's a familiar map, but they've changed it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really notice much of the changes.
Okay.
I know they've changed it, but I don't notice any.
I don't know. I'm sure the floating rocks in the sky are a bit of a change.
Yeah, so they have that added layer.
There's another added layer, right, that they didn't tell anyone about, that apparently everyone went crazy for when they've discovered it. Unless you haven't discovered it.
I am.
And well, apparently it's fucking huge. It's massive. Don't go up, go down.
Oh right, okay. I haven't gone down yet.
Yeah,
it's
apparently
available to me as a
crazy
mission, but
Yeah.
I haven't gone down there yet. I've just been doing a lot of kind of side quest stuff, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a ton of fun. The mechanics for building stuff is insane. Like you can do some really wild things with it. The only thing that's like limited is that if you want to build let's say like a vehicle that you've got batteries. Now you can upgrade those batteries. You can,
Yeah.
they can have a higher capacity. So that can be the only limiting factor. But I mean, I built gliders. Uh, you can. I've seen people online build like really fucking mental. Like someone built a ship for fishing. What they did was they built this like metal. They had this like metal grating,
Yeah.
and they put a controller for them to stand on to
Mhm.
drive the thing with propellers on the back, and then they've attached a thing to the metal grate that causes electricity, and because it's metal, it like conducts the whole thing, and
Yeah.
then they just like sail in the water, and because of the shape of it, it's like electrocuting the fish to kill them and gathering them. And
Wow.
it's got like you can do some mental stuff in the game.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I seen someone else build this giant. Okay, he's like standing on a platform. It's like a big box thing. It's wheels, and he just drives it. But he attached to the front two essentially compact crushers that he'll just drive up to all of his enemies and then just start crushing all of them.
Yeah, I've
So
seen
he
people
just
build tanks in it. Yeah,
This is nuts.
yeah.
What's crazy though is I haven't heard of anything breaking the game either though.
No, and so far the performance has been really solid. Breath of the Wild, I remember a few moments where the frame rate dropped dramatically, but I haven't
Yeah.
noticed any. I think they've really mastered their engine here.
Yeah.
It seems pretty solid so far. I don't know. I haven't gotten to any points that have been crazy for it, but yeah, it's a fun game.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. And did you play anything else or do anything else?
Played a little bit of um, Link's Awakening, which is cute as fuck.
Ah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of cutesy art style.
Yeah, that one's really fun because
Yeah.
that just kind of has this like old school kind of vibe to it. Kind of reminds me of the ones from the Game Boy. Well, I suppose it's a remake of the Game Boy one. So, no, that's it. I think, yeah, I think that's it. I had Octopath Traveler 2, but I never really got around to it because Tears of the
It's
Kingdom.
yeah. To be honest, like for that period of time, like you only really need one or two
Yeah,
games to be playing, and especially when you don't have all the downtime in the world and you're working and that kind of stuff. Any cool movies or anything?
did I watch a movie? No, I just watched a TV show, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Ah, yeah. You're a big fan of that.
Yeah, I think the
There's
last
just-
episode was directed by an Wexford man. I think.
oh
Cool.
Mm.
Oh, who was
Uh-huh.
that?
Yeah,
Do you know?
I don't know.
yeah, they're on the last season now, isn't it? Season
finished.
3 was it was the
Oh,
last
it's-
season. Yeah.
It's done.
Was it emotional?
Yeah, but like in a kind of a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good. It was funny because it kind of the the episode. It was very similar to what I was going through when I was working, basically.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that probably hit harder than
Yeah.
than what it did for normal people.
It's mad that, isn't it? When things you connect to things that way and stuff. And I gotta share a couple of little stories from Download. So I was there over the weekend. In a minute. Just the fucking power of music. But speaking on that, Adam, got you a little homecoming gift. You didn't see this coming.
Oh, no fucking way!
Right, for the listeners, Chris, you want to describe what it is?
It's a vinyl of Sleep Token's "Take Me Back to Eden," which I know you've also been enjoying while you were away.
And I've been listening to that every day.
I fucking know.
Every day I've been listening to that album.
I'm surprised it wasn't the first thing you said.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to admit to my obsession, but
It's totally fine. Worship. But yeah, so I gotta get that over to you. It was
That's
supposed to
insane.
come before I left, so that it would be here when you got back, because you came back on the day I left. So
yeah.
I was like, hey. So I did like vlogs. So obviously audio listeners won't know about those. But if you want to jump over to our YouTube channel, which is linked in the link tree, just to get a gist of what it was like, because it was fucking insane. It was crazy. Like, it was the 20th anniversary of the Download Music Festival. 4 nights of crazy, amazing, diverse metal and rock music, and it's just fun seeing everything that, like, you know, came out of it. But I gotta just share, like, you could kind of get a gist of everything by watching those if you want, right? But I gotta share 4 little stories, one from each day, of just 4 little examples of just how fucking emotional it is as a festival.
Okay.
So day 1 or night 1, Metallica are headlining. It's their first set, and this is again just one example of many. During Nothing Else Matters, right beside me, there's an older gentleman, and he's with his son, his son is about my age, right? So this man is, you know, maybe a bit older than our dad, say, and there is tears just coming down off his face during Nothing Else Matters. I could see it in the corner of my eye, and then I looked over and he's really crying. And then at the end of the song, him and his son hugged. And you just know that there's a story there. That there's something there. That song means something to the two of them, or it calls back to something, right?
You actually just saw Adam from the future hugging
Yeah.
son.
His son. Yeah, and Pagan's at home somewhere, yeah. Second night, Bring Me the Horizon are headlining, right? And first of all, just as I don't know if this is the right word, but just as a fan of them since Sempiternal, there was just this immense feeling of pride that I had in how far this band, if you listen to their first album, how awful they were at one point, and now they're up there with Slipknot and Metallica headlining, and the place was sold out, thousands and thousands of people, as far as the eye could see, singing their songs, rooting for these guys who, you know, people used to just hate. Like, it was fucking crazy. And right beside me there was a young father and his daughter, right? She's about 9. And we all made space to make sure she could watch this show. And this was her favorite band ever. And she had these t-shirts. She got these. She had a t-shirt. She had her dad wearing the same t-shirt, and she drew on the 2 t-shirts and wrote lyrics out on the t-shirts and everything. And this was just her world. Like, this was just the best night ever for her. And he got her up on her shoulder, and everyone around made sure she had the best night ever. It was fucking amazing, right? Then you got the third night. Like, Metallica are headlining for the second time. But before them is Disturbed, right? And David Draymond, he sings this really, he's an amazing singer. Like, I know he was, but live, he's an amazing singer. Like, The Sound of Silence, fucking incredible. But he sang this song that I don't know. I don't know this song at all, right? And it was this acoustic kind of ballad song about there's always a reason to keep fighting type thing, right? At the end of it, he's crying. And afterwards, he does a speech. And he talks about how he misses his friends. He misses Chester. He misses Chris Cornell. The whole crowd went wild, you know? And it was just this, like, huge rally of, you know, look after one another, protect your mental health, that kind of thing, right? And then on the last day, the opening band, 12 o'clock in the day. This is like the band no one goes to see, right? They're a band called Bloodywood. I never fucking heard of Bloodywood. They're they're an Indian folk metal band.
Yeah.
Right? 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 And I was like, well, fuck it. Like, I'm here. Right? Like, I gotta go check this out. Of course I am. And, like, nobody knew these guys, right? Like, some people did. There was the odd couple of t-shirts there and stuff, but everyone just kind of gathered around. And the more they kept playing, more people gathered. And more people gathered. And there was a song they played. And again, I have never heard these guys before in my life. I was crying. I don't even know what they were saying. But the power and the passion in the music. I kept my shades on because I didn't want anyone to know that I was crying, because I was like, I'm not even a fan. I don't know these guys. It was unfucking believable. And only since then I've come back and looked up what the lyrics were, and I was like, wow, that's what I felt like they were. But I didn't know that that's what they were saying. It just comes across it's fucking amazing. So that is to say that music is a powerful thing. And the connections it makes are amazing. But so are video games, by fuck did I get excited by the end of Summer Game Fest. So let's start with Jeff Keighley's opening night, Summer Game Fest. First of all, what did you think of the show?
Overall, really good format. Like, maybe it's just because everyone's back live again.
Right.
There was good energy.
Yeah, I liked seeing the crowd. That really encompassed the fact that this is now live. Everyone's there. There was good energy there. Didn't feel. I watched 3 of the showcases. That one felt the shortest.
Yeah.
Now maybe it was actually the shortest. I don't know.
What showcases?
I watched the Summer Game Fest with Jeff Keighley's one, the Future Game Show.
Oh, nice.
I watched that Saturday night.
Cool.
That was hosted by Laura Bailey and Yuri Lowenthal. They were just channeling Mary Jane, and they were just channeling Mary Jane and Spider-Man. That's what they were doing. It was nice. They had fun banter, but that showcase was getting to a point where I was like, "Oh yeah, is it only 9:30?" Okay,
right.
And then before we got into this, I was watching the Microsoft Starfield one, and that one as well. I thought was kind of going on for a bit, so I liked the Jeff Keighley one because it just
I thought Summer Game Fest was good length.
Yeah, it's good.
I loved it. In comparison to the last 2 years as well, like I thought it was good to take out the world premieres, just jump straight into them. I thought the pacing was great. I thought that he didn't overhype the showcase beforehand, which he has done sometimes before, which is okay. It's part of advertising, but he didn't this time. Like I saw him on interviews where he's like, yeah, I think we have a good show, but keep your expectations in check. So you're like, oh, okay, great. Like I won't get too excited then, because the PlayStation showcase let a lot of people down.
Oh, that's what I missed.
Yeah, you missed. Well,
yeah.
I mean, no, I mean a bit. There was a couple of nice things there, but just everyone had hyped that thing up to crazy,
really?
And like, well, yeah,
I feel like everyone always hypes up the PlayStation Showcase, and they always deserve.
Well, no. You see, the thing is, it's not a state of play though. Had it been a state of play, then you wouldn't get overhyped. You'd go, oh, great, it's another state of play. It was a PlayStation Showcase. And the other 2 PlayStation Showcases they did were fucking incredible. So, right. It's when they revealed God of War Ragnarok for the first time, and Final Fantasy 16, and Spider-Man 2, and Wolverine, and Wonder Woman, and the PS5 reveal, and the fucking PS5 price point, and the release date. Like, they're usually the big fucking motherfuckers. Resident Evil Village. Like, they're the big ones. They're not just a state of play, whereas this one felt like a long state of play. Which really just Spider-Man 2 being the highlight at the end, really. Although I suppose everyone was talking about Metal Gear Solid more so afterwards, because they were like, I have questions that need answering.
Like, why was it in the middle of the showcase?
Yes, why was this not the end of the show? Why was it slapped in the middle? But we do know why. It's not PS exclusive.
Sure.
But no, Jeff Keighley's show I thought was great. And there was a few really good highlights. We won't go through every reveal, but just like shout out the ones that we want to talk about.
I liked the interviews. Nicolas Cage was hilarious.
Nicolas Cage.
So weird. He's ridiculous. Your other man who was presenting Alan Wake 2, he was quite formal and nice and informative. And then he got the guy for that Marvel Snap game. And he was hilarious with just his ridiculous enthusiasm for this game.
Yeah. You're not even sure if he's trying to be funny. You're just like, you're hilarious.
It's like their energies are on 2 different levels.
Yeah. Jeff's pretty chill. Like, gaming is great, right? And this guy's like, I have the best idea ever. And he's like a hyper Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Alan Wake 2 looks great.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah,
like,
nice.
Have you ever played the first one?
I played the first one. I played and cleared the whole first one. Yeah.
Oh, did you? It's not like that though, is it?
No, not at all. Because the first one, I was getting to a point where I was a bit like, am I still on the same mission? Fuck me, this is going on forever. Like, it's a ridiculously unnecessary long game, and at no point do you ever feel like you're getting better. at the game.
Right.
And also, it's free. I know, like the whole thing takes place at nighttime because that's when the darkness kind of really thrives and survives.
You're about
But
to
it's
say it's really dark.
it's really dark. It's really hard to see. There's points where it's like you are in a huge open forest, and I'm like, where am I supposed to go? And you're just fucking running around in circles. And it's really hard. But this looks great. This looked really good. The lighting was much better, and the graphics and sound design and everything. And the idea of swapping between the two at whatever point you want, sort of.
I like this new character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
they're clearly inspired by the Resident Evil remakes, right? Like
yes.
they're even doing the dodge that Jill does.
And there was a thing that your man was saying in the interview where he kind of looked at the crowd, and I think like one or two guys went, woo! Because I don't think anyone else caught on.
Okay. Is this some Control reference shit?
No. He said that you're the FBI Special Agent Saga working with Special Agent Alex Casey.
Okay.
Alex Casey is the name of the character that Alan Wake wrote about from the first game. So he's a fictitious character who's been somehow brought to life. So I was like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Okay, so I have no memory of. I rented Alan Wake once for the 360 for a week when you were able to rent games, and I played it for one night. I really didn't play horror games or anything. I got so shit scared that I turned it off. I didn't play it. I just returned it. Now I know I could definitely play that game now. Like,
yeah,
games that I played at the time, I was just so fucking scared. There was a woman in black, and she just scared the shit out of me.
I was kind of like with my approach to Alan Wake was my experience with it was a bit like Evil Within. It's like I really liked the concept of it, but I got really bored playing it.
Right? Yeah.
I get that. Yeah,
I feel like the gameplay here looks more
polished and refined,
engaging. I would say.
Yeah. I think like there's a lot of good looking stuff between this and the Xbox One, and even with the reveal of Snake Eater, where I'm liking the sound of all of this. Yeah. I really need to wait and see though.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of my. I'm not overly excited about kind of anything that was announced, just because we've been burned so many times.
Right.
That it's kind of hard to like trust any of them now.
Well, there was a few. This time around, they also came out and did the release date for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that was weird.
Well, I wonder, was that always in the plan, or was that because there was a bit of backlash after, like, the Spider-Man 2 presentation for the PlayStation Showcase was awesome. It was like 11 minutes long, big Uncharted style sequence nearly, with lots of cool stuff in it. But there was no release date afterwards, so people were like, "What the fuck? Like, do they not like this is supposed to be coming this year? Is it coming this year, or is it going to get delayed? Like, have they got that nailed down?" So I feel like this was right. Let's get in with Jeff and crack down the release date with just a bit of concept art to show off as well, because it's not like they had another trailer prepared or anything for it.
Yeah, it almost felt like a waste of a slot, really.
It was a waste of slot because they could have just had that.
Could have just done that as a tweet.
Or the PlayStation Showcase.
True, yeah. Well, that's the thing. They weren't committing to it at the PlayStation Showcase.
Okay.
And then you know what I mean? And then I feel like everyone was like, why not? And saying, it's not coming out, blah, blah, blah. You know, and they were like, oh, we got to change this narrative. Yes, it is. Here's the date. October, as we hoped, Eric. And he did confirm something, though, other than the release date.
He did.
He confirmed Eddie Brock is not Venom. Yeah. And myself and Eric were theorizing from the other showing. I think we both were on the same mind wave of it's going to be one of three people. It's either going to be Eddie Brock, because that's the canon, Harry Osborn, because of the ending of the first game, or Craven himself, who's the villain this time around, who maybe, because he can't beat Spider-Man, gives into this thing to get stronger or something. But I feel like Harry is the most likely, which would be cool.
Yeah, I like this. It was kind of a weird thing to hang up on or at least question. It's like, oh, who's Venom? It's like, does that? I don't know. It's to me that just it never really matters.
Sure.
Venom has had so many different personas that it's just who Venom is not as interesting as like what Venom becomes. You know what I mean? Like what
Right.
he enables the character to do.
I get you. I do think
not-
there's slightly more drama in it though if the entity you're trying to take down underneath it all is your childhood best friend versus another photographer for the Daily Bugle I don't fucking like.
Yeah,
So
but
there
they
could be
haven't-
that drama could be there, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if they've kind of built up to that moment yet. It's a bit like the mystery around the Arkham Knight. I don't know.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
they
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
really built it up yet.
Yeah. Now maybe they will in game. Maybe when you're playing the
Maybe.
game, like I don't think Venom's in this game till way later.
Well,
Like
third act, kind of
remember-
like
Dr. Octopus in the first game. You're watching him become Dr. Octopus over the course of the game. I feel like this is gonna be similar.
Yeah, because you have to have the symbiote for a while, don't you?
Hell yeah, you do. And
So-
you do actually.
So it could be that it's like maybe it starts off as Harry in the beginning. Maybe it's Venom as Harry in the beginning.
I don't think so.
You're saving your friend.
Yeah,
You end up with a symbiote.
yeah.
And then throughout the course of the game, there's someone that you're actually very close to that because of your failings, the symbiote ends up on them, and now you have to fight your new friend.
Another. Miles. we've all been distracted by the usual Peter Harry
Mary Jane.
stuff. Imagine.
It's
Could you
Aunt
fucking
May.
imagine? You can't. I hope not.
Oh,
That word.
We won't spoil the edit. Okay, cool. Was there anything else from Summer Game Fest, that show, that caught your eye before we talk about 7 Rebirth?
Yeah. Right. So I've watched 3 showcases and I've tried
no, they
to
get mixed
compile
up, right? They get
in my
mixed up.
head what was released in what. Because I was about to say, oh yeah, that kind of game called The Last Fate. That looked really cool. That was that's the future game. What about nope, that was the future game. What? No, that was Xbox. I'm now very kind of apart from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, a little bit like what the hell was shown at Jeff Keighley's.
Right, well, the other big one I would say,
Other than
at least for them,
Alan
was
Wake 2 and
Mortal Kombat 1,
yes.
right?
Right, yes. That was like the first thing, actually. That was the very first thing to show.
no, Prince of Persia was.
Yeah, that was a surprise because
Yeah, it was a nice surprise. Yeah.
because that's a series that I mean, there was a Sands
Apparently-
of Time remake in the
Yeah.
works. Not just happened with that since, and this game came out of nowhere, as far as I was concerned.
Apparently, Prince of Persia fans are not liking the look of this, but I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it looked cool. I thought it looked like a fun game.
It looks okay. It's nice to see them finally doing something with the series, but I can understand why people are not so keen on this.
Right.
For me, it looked a little too. Well, I don't know what people want from Prince of Persia, but for me personally, I would want more puzzle solving, less combat. This looked very combat heavy.
But also looked like it harkens, in terms of style, that it harkens back to the original
Yeah, I like the
Prince of Persia
platforming
games. Yeah, yeah.
side of it. Yeah.
But I think people want PS2 era Prince of Persia.
Well, they want Sands of Time.
Yeah, and like, what was it, Warrior Within
Warrior
or something
Within.
like that, and they want that era Prince of Persia back, I think.
Hmm.
So this is obviously not that, and I think the
No.
art style is a little reminiscent of that Prince of Persia one-off game where Nolan North did the
Nolan North,
voice,
yeah.
and like people did not like that game.
I actually quite enjoyed that one.
I know, but generally speaking,
Yeah, that's
people
that's
didn't
maybe-
like it. I'm not saying no one liked it. I mean, I thought it, like the art was cool and stuff. But it also, for a game that was called Prince of Persia, it kind of felt like a non-game as well. Like nothing really happens.
Yeah, I mean,
And
there's
it's
no
uneventful,
real-
right?
Yeah. It's kind of a run around and look at the pretty art kind of game.
Right.
It's
Eric-
Journey, but with a sword.
Eric, what did you think of Mortal Kombat 1 then? I think me and you were very, very stoked for this.
Yes, I really liked what I saw. I thought I'm a bit disappointed by the fact that you're still sort of locked on a 2D you're locked on a treadmill.
Yeah,
I was disappointed to see that.
no conquest mode.
Oh, is there not?
Well, it's clear to me that the story,
didn't
way they're telling the
mention
story
it.
is very similar to how they told it before, where you swap from character to character. That's what it looked like to me, anyway.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
when they said they're doing the gameplay reveal at Summer Game Fest, if they didn't mention that there's a conquest mode, because that would be the big thing, then
Yeah, but they said that there was new modes, and I don't think they mentioned any of the modes.
Well,
yeah,
there could
but
be one eventually.
maybe,
but
yeah, I don't know. I just, if there is, that it's not how they're telling the story,
no.
Mm,
and
I
that's
don't-
what I'd hoped for. But graphically and everything, it looks
Graphic looks like I was a little bit like, whoa, when I saw Edania. When I saw the
Yeah.
Palace Grounds of Edania, I was like, that looks amazing. I loved what they did with Kenshi in this one.
he's not blind.
No, but he's like a Yakuza guy. I was like, that's really cool.
It just makes me interested in, because all the characters, because it's been kind of restarted, there's a reinterpretation of the characters. So, like, for example, yeah, Kenshi not being blind, might seem like a small thing, but that was like a pivotal part of his character before. So,
Yeah.
what other changes have been made along the way?
Well,
would be kinda cool to see.
Scorpion Sub-Zero are brothers this time.
Yeah, and Melina is queen.
Melina's cool, yeah.
And
But she
Kitana
has
serves her or something like that.
she has a condition
Right.
where she's changing, and if anyone found out that they would kill her.
So they're covering that up, and Katana's like trying to fight a cure or something. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, so it looks like there is some cool stuff in this, but yeah, I was a little disappointed to see it's just on a treadmill. But some of the new ability, or some of the killing, like fighting, all the, oh my god, I can't talk. The brutality of it. There we go. The
Jesus,
brutality
it's like
was pretty good.
You literally just have to use the words that Mortal Kombat says, like brutality, fatality, like fight,
fatality.
You could have used any of the words that it actually says to you.
And the cameos, I like the cameos.
Yeah, I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah,
I think the cameo thing is a cool idea, especially because they said all the cameo fighters are a completely different roster.
No,
yeah. You're saying no, but Adam's saying yeah. So now
That's what it sounded like.
There is some characters. Most of the cameos, are not part of the roster, but there is some in the roster that are cameos.
Oh, like who? Do we know?
They didn't say. That's all Ed Boon said.
Oh,
but they got Van Damme apparently in it.
That's right. Jean-Claude Van Damme plays Johnny Cage in one rendition. Not in the actual story though, just in a.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't expect that they got. I didn't think they got Jean-Claude Van Damme for the story.
No, that's definitely just like a novelty thing, right?
Yeah.
I gotta keep an eye on it. Obviously, I like Mortal Kombat. I enjoy those games, but now it's suddenly not like a buy it instantly type thing. Now I'm like, now I want to see the other modes, because if they had said there was a conquest story mode, I would have been like, pre-order done. Let's go.
That would have made me excited for it too.
Yeah, because I really thought there was going to be, because Ed Boon had been talking about conquest modes on Twitter a lot.
Yeah, like it could.
So I was,
like
maybe
it could be something.
It could be there, and I think they were just showing off, really,
just like the combat
scenes, graphics, and just the combat, just showing you the scenes, showing you the violence, the brutality, the babality, the fatality.
Yeah, I find it interesting though that like
that needs to be revealed.
Yeah,
like your first look at the Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay, and it's like, it is.
Oh my god, there's blood.
What you expect from Mortal Kombat? It's two people fighting. There's lots of blood. It's like, obviously.
What's the new thing?
What is the new? That's exactly what I'm getting at. I'm like, I like how it looks, but
was that not done before or something similar in a previous game?
You might be taking a tag team.
Armageddon had that, did it?
Where you have the two fighters, or I suppose because it kind of looks similar to. Remember when Noob Smoke were put together in Deception?
Yeah.
And like, there were certain moves that would call in one or the other.
There's stance change.
There's a bit of that going on. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
stance change. So if there was two characters involved, it would be a stance change. Yeah, I don't know. I found like, because they really hyped up the thing. I think that was the one game I think they really hyped. Like when
well, it was the one that people knew was coming for a fact.
But I have to say, I felt nothing while watching that entire gameplay section. There's something really odd about you know, like if you watch Dead Space,
Mm,
that looks grotesquely gory.
yeah.
Mortal Kombat is no longer, and it should be, I think, but it's no longer like gory anymore.
Well, it's almost
I don't know.
now. It's almost
I would
I
think
now.
it's a bit like it's a bit comical. It's a bit like
Yes,
tomato sauce, a little bit, rather
yeah,
than
right. But
but
okay.
it's a different kind of it's a Robert Rodriguez gory, not a.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be weird to say Mortal Kombat's not gory, right? Like to the
no.
uninitiated.
What I mean is that it used
It's
to
not
be
shocking.
no, yeah, it used to
Yeah.
be like
It
banned,
got banned in countries.
like
I know.
that's how gory it was, and I think they kind of need to up their game a little bit because it's no longer.
I wonder how can they though, because like
Well, I
every
just
every
found
like
that
even Doom, like Doom
yeah,
is like whoa,
yeah, yeah.
but it's also just like everyone's just happy with it. Like it's not no one was like right ban Doom. My
No,
kids
yeah,
shouldn't be
yeah.
playing this game.
No, I'm not saying that needs to get to a point where like people start banning the game, but there's just something about the X-ray view, for example, that looks a little bit like a science book, kind of demonstrating an X-ray to someone,
This is
rather
how
than
you throw a kunai into someone's eye. You hit right
yeah,
here. Yeah.
rather than like what we see in like Resident Evil or Doom, even like they're the way they portray it is very gory,
So
Yeah.
and
are
I
you
think they kind
saying
of need to up their game a
what
little bit.
they should actually add in is that when you do those X-ray modes of like breaking shins, is that then the player character suffers a penalty of limping around with a broken shin where you can see the
For the
bone
rest of the
popping
fight.
out for the rest of the fight. So you pop an eye out, the eye is now gone, and break the jaw, and there's the flesh coming up.
It would be cool if
It would
they
be interesting, actually.
it'd be cool if they utilized the technology that was used in Dead Space, as you mentioned, where like because they really focused in on the remake on what do you call it, like the layering of the skin and stuff, and that like as
Oh,
you
yeah.
shoot at them, the skin starts peeling back and stuff, and then you
Mm.
can see the bones and everything.
Yeah.
And they could utilize that technology where the more you're hitting with like blades and stuff, like bits of skin are actually coming off, and
I mean,
you can really see tendons and stuff, and like how far do you want to go with this, Adam?
that would be pretty gory. Um, but like it'd be an interesting way of implementing the health bar, wouldn't it?
Oh, cool. Yeah. So it's like to actually finish him,
Yeah.
you have to like destroy him into nothing. Like it's not just a health bar. Yeah. Fuck.
There's
That's
just
crazy.
something about like I mean they keep rebooting Mortal Kombat as well, and it's like there's just something about it that hasn't evolved enough. I find like Deception and Deadly Alliance was the last time I actually truly enjoyed a Mortal Kombat game because I think
Hmm.
that really changed fighting games. I think that was innovative for fighting games, but I don't think they've really innovated on the genre at all since.
Well, I was always excited by the naming and concept of Mortal Kombat 1. Like right, and it is a continuation actually of if you've played the end of Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat
I
11,
understand it's a-
it is,
yeah.
but also just because everyone assumed it was going to become Mortal Kombat 12, and that whole thing with the clock was cool, where it was like it was at 11, I skipped to 1, and I was like, what does that mean? It's Mortal Kombat 1. It'll only become a problem. I don't know how to name the next one. I hope they don't name the next one Mortal Kombat 2. Because like it's okay to
It'll
have
be
a
Mortal Kombat 14.
And it'll be set in the 14th century. It's like going back to like the very first Mortal Kombat.
Hey, that'd be sick.
That would interesting.
But yeah, look, I again, like Mortal Kombat games are fun, graphically look great, but I didn't think there was anything that was like, holy shit, this is like the new Mortal Kombat. But maybe there's more to see that'll change that. But I mean, realistically, the thing that I was most excited for, and I even started getting into the maybe this is happening. So there was those developer notes being released every day in the lead up to Summer Game Fest from Square Enix. Each one had a different person working on FFVII Rebirth with a question and an answer. I was like, why? Like, where did this come out of? There's literally been no mention of FF7 Rebirth lately. So why are you doing this? You do this for a reason. You have to be. You're not just coming out of nowhere to start getting people thinking about 7 Rebirth with questions that it's like, who even asked those questions? I want them answered, but who asked them? So then it was like, and when it was like, when you get to question 6 and you realize question 7 is the day of the Summer Game Fest, you're like, oh, it might happen. Maybe I'm getting tinfoil hat here, but it might happen. Maybe we'll see it. Because I really thought prior to that we would not see anything on this game until after 16 was released. Because I thought all the focused marketing would be on just 16. And I have questions that need answering. The fuck is going on?
I do want to say just before we get on to it, but I do like when, I think it was in the middle of the show, Jeff Keighley brought up Final Fantasy, and everyone,
that was great. Yeah. And
he was like,
yeah.
I was like, no, hold on. And then they did Ever Crisis, and I was still watching
Ever Crisis. Yeah,
I was watching Ever Crisis, going, this is more confusing. I'm confused with Rebirth, but I really don't understand what the hell's going on Ever Crisis.
That product needs some explaining.
Absolutely. Yeah, no one knows.
I'm still intrigued by it though.
But I like that Jeff Keighley. He's clearly very aware of the online conversation. Like and I love that. Even at the end, he said, "Yes, the rumors were true." You know, and those rumors were only over the last couple of days. Like they weren't. It wasn't like weeks of speculating or anything like that. Oh my god! So it opens, and now all the party are dead.
Yeah.
They're all dead. But then somewhere else, they're not dead.
They don't show Cloud.
Separate timelines. Of course they don't show Cloud. He's not dead. He's with Zack.
3 timelines.
No, 2 timelines. He's with Zack, and the rest of the party tried fighting Sephiroth without Cloud, and they died. They all died. It says something about a tornado that hit Sector or something. I don't know which sector it was, right?
Yeah, but they're playing the Arbiter music during that section with tornado.
Right, so
they're talking about that tornado.
Are they talking about that, or are they talking about the scene in? Sorry, everyone, you gotta bear with us. Are they talking about the scene in 7 Remake where Cloud is in the simulator, and he suddenly gets a weird fucking vision, and there's the big tornado in the city. It's hinting at meteor, really, and Sephiroth flashes. And he flashes and stabs Barrett and kills him. And he flashes and stabs Tifa and kills her. And then he's back to back with Cloud, and there's the big tornado, and you're like, oh, screensaver.
Right.
Has that happened in another timeline? And Sephiroth has killed all those people. And in Zack's timeline, like, we're going to be focused on, like, our mission of stopping Sephiroth. But that don't matter, because it's in another timeline where Sephiroth has just won. Because Aerith is dead before she could ever summon Holy.
But Zack meets Aerith.
No, he doesn't. He goes to the church. He goes, Aerith? At the end of he sees Aerith dead. They're fucking dead. In Zack's time.
Wait, but that's like fucking years. That's years before that fucking.
Nothing is happening in sequence. Everything has changed.
Nothing is true. Everything's permitted. Assassin's Creed.
Okay, no, sorry. I got carried away here. But
yeah, let's talk about the actual trailer.
What did you think of the actual trailer? Sorry.
I honestly
don't have a clue what we're talking about.
I clearly was not paying attention to this trailer at all.
All right. You didn't see the party dead at the start of the trailer?
I did. I did, but I just thought nothing of it. Like,
I just thought, there's a regular Final Fantasy VII bullshit. There's Tetsuya Nomura just like, fucking jacking off to this shit.
I was just watching the whole thing going, sweet, I'm going to play that.
I know, right?
Okay.
Really,
so, me and Adam have swapped places, because I think when Remake was done, and used to were theorizing, and I was like, I suppose I didn't really deep dive into it that much. Yeah. I was just a little bit like, this is not a remake. And now, places have switched. Me and Chris are like deep dive into this trailer, and you're like, oh, well, I suppose it just looks good, and I'll play it.
I think I was like way too focused on surviving.
Right? Yeah. Well, when you're sick as fuck, you're not going to be as focused in on it. But
I was just like lying on the couch, like half day, going, "That was cool."
Yeah. Loved seeing the Red 13 gameplay.
Yes,
he looks super fun. Loved seeing and hearing Bugenhagen.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But that was great. I was like, what? Bugenhagen? Then they showed Yuffie. I was like, Yuffie's with them? The synergy thing is in it? And I was like, what?
How could you be surprised that Bugenhagen is in it? There's only 3 of these. He has to be in the second part.
I don't know,
No.
man. I don't know.
Based on
Yeah,
the things,
okay. I was surprised that they were showing him in the trailer. Let's put it that way.
based
Maybe
on the
more so.
based on the things that they're saying in the trailer, I think Maximilian Dude is correct. I'm gonna say it now.
I don't know what he said.
He said his theory is this second game will end at the Northern Crater, all the way at the Northern Crater, when
Okay.
it's revealed to Cloud that he was never in Nibelheim, which is said specifically in the trailer, but now they're pointing you in a different direction of, but what's this though? Yeah, I think they're gonna actually go that far, which is bonkers. This is fucking crazy. If they do all of that, this is gonna be the best game ever. But I love that they're so aware that they're like, look, there's no way of hiding the twist of Final Fantasy VII to the player, which they didn't do in the first game either, because they are not able to tell the story in one game.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, the time between, all anyone has to do is Wikipedia, YouTube it, go and play the original, whatever, and they'll know the twist. So then, when the next one comes around and they give you the twist, you're gonna be like, "Yeah, sure, we all knew that. Everyone knows that." So they have to go, "Well, yeah, you do know that. Let's present you with something else, though. Do you know what this is?" Bah. You know. So Sephiroth said to Cloud, "I killed Tifa. So if I killed her, who is she?" Bah! And him saying, like, Genova can look like anyone, right? Just a thought. She could even look like the people you love. Just a thought. Like, are you trying to convince Cloud that Tifa's not Tifa? And Tifa's going to tell the party, like, Cloud was never in Nibelheim. And Cloud's going to Tifa's dead, right? Like, and the fucking paranoia and all. Sephiroth's just, like, fucking twisting her little head. Oh, man.
I could tell Adam's just like, I didn't hear any of that.
I don't want the
No, I did, but
none
of
who's Sephiroth?
I was watching this trailer.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm not like raising any questions or anything.
Yeah,
There's only one thing. There's only one question I have about this. What's the whole deal about the 2-disc thing?
Yeah, I was wondering that myself. So is it again? Is it like the first one? Is people are like, oh my god, 2 discs is gonna be like
like everyone's making a big deal. Like
the first one was 2 discs.
On 2 discs, it's like okay.
No, one of those is obviously just the install.
Well, no,
Right.
because any game
Right?
that's ever had 2 discs, like Red Dead 2 or Final Fantasy Remake, they've never stated that it was 2 discs.
Yeah, they did.
But
Final Fantasy VII Remake was announced as 2 discs. People were like, wow, 2 Blu-ray discs of content. But they didn't say at the time that one of them was just the data disc.
Well, it has to be. There's no other way to do it. So.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, that's what it is. It's you put in one disc.
Yeah, I know. I just like.
Then what's the point of fucking saying that?
That's my point. Like, why advertise
I think why they advertise it is because the PS5 like capacity and everything is fucking huge. And so it's like, so this game, even on the PS5, still requires 2 discs, is to make you go, whoa, this game must be huge.
Well, it is
Maybe,
huge. I mean, when you see
prepare everyone, it's like, okay, you're gonna have to make some room for this thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to uninstall Call of Duty.
I think it's them saying, dude, forget the Forgotten Capital. You think that's where we're ending? No, man. We're going all the way to the Northern Crater.
this is
We need
actually
2 discs.
You're going all the way to the end. The third game is just the credits.
Yeah.
It's just the after. Like, I didn't watch it the night of. I caught up afterwards, so I knew.
Me
it was
too,
announced,
right.
you know, so.
Yeah, same.
But
yeah.
the dialogue that I saw was people on Twitter talking about the whole 2-disc thing, and I'm just like, I don't know if is this just a meme now? Is that or like?
I think
people genuinely.
Yeah, I think people don't understand, and they what they hear is 2 discs of content, which it is technically, but not in the way. I think they're thinking they're going to get to a certain point in disc 1, and it's going to say, "Please insert disc 2 to continue the story." I was like, no, that's not what it means. It doesn't mean that.
What if it does though?
But what it does mean.
What if there's a data disc and then 2 discs?
What it obviously does mean is the game is huge. And therefore, I think either way, that's something to be excited about.
Yeah, I mean, when they were showing the gameplay, the areas looked big. Even Chocobo, the Chocobo farm looked
Heading
like
up to fucking June and Harbor.
Yeah, I
I
remember I
think
saw that and I
but
was like, holy crap.
we were all kind of theorizing that this second part was going to be huge anyway.
Oh,
Obviously,
oh
bigger
yeah,
than the
yeah.
first part.
Oh god, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's hardly a surprise, is it?
No. Next, they'll have
It's
to
just
say
that it's
three
anyway.
discs.
Look, I mean, you're thinking about the whole Tifa thing and Sephiroth and shit like that. That's the only thing that confused the fuck out of me. Why
Why say two
advertise
discs?
on 2 discs? It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
So, and as well, I think we were maybe on the money with the release date, big early 2024, because coming out December 2023, just no way. So I think it'll be February or March probably next
And
year.
you were the only one saying that, Chris, and I was hating you for it because I
Absolutely
wanted
not.
it in 2023.
Every single
Well,
other
everyone
person who I
else-
listened to was also
Well,
saying
they should all go fuck
The first
themselves
one was
and
also
retract that statement.
February or March release, wasn't it? Was it March release?
it was
March.
aimed for a March release and then it was delayed till April.
Oh, yes, because of COVID.
I don't think it was because of COVID. And then COVID hit, they were like, fuck. And everyone was like, are we going to still get this game? Because everyone's closed. And Square Enix, to be fair to them, had like a massive effort to make sure people got this game.
Yeah.
But no, it was just delayed by a month for final touch-ups, I think. And to be honest,
Except for the door.
except for the fucking door, I was just going to say, to be honest, maybe they need a little bit more time on a couple
That's
of things.
probably what the second disc is for.
That's
All those
it.
doors.
Yeah, all those doors. Do you know how many doors there's going to be in the next game?
Gonna be 10 doors.
Those are my questions. How many fucking doors are there?
Is there going to be more doors or more Chocobo legs?
Never mind fucking Tifa. Okay, cool. Let us know what you all think about the 7 Rebirth trailer, guys. How deep do you want to go into it? Let us know. Get in touch. Anything from the Xbox showcase that specifically stood out? I thought it was a good, as annoying as the whole world premiere breakup thing is, it was a pretty good showcase for Xbox, who have been battered as of late.
I feel sorry for them. They can't
yeah.
do anything. Like,
No,
even when they do well, like I just saw like on Twitter and shit like that, people are still bashing them even after this showcase, which is a good fucking showcase.
I thought
Yeah,
it was a
it was
really
actually
good showcase. There were
pretty
some
good
really good
showcase.
games here.
Yeah, I
But-
thought the showing of the extended hard drive, I was like, I am terrified. That is a black hole right behind that like the hard fucking drive, the extended storage
Yeah.
thing. That was even pretty.
That's an
cool.
Xbox.
Yeah, so talking about the Xbox.
Yeah. That
Hey,
I
like-
think that was a really clever announcement. That
Yeah. I like that.
because I've always been saying up to this point, don't bother with the Series S.
Yeah, well, this gives a reason to now, doesn't it?
Yeah, and my reason for not getting a Series S has nothing to do with the capabilities or whatever. I think
Storage.
it's a secondary console. Yeah, it's all to do with that storage, and this addresses that problem completely.
But now it's like, why get a Series X? You know, because this one's gonna
Unless-
still have a terabyte and it's smaller and cheaper.
Unless you want the
Um,
4K stuff, like just,
Right, but that's depending on your TV as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
not everyone actually gets that benefit. So this is a really great,
Yeah.
and
that thing is-
middle point for people.
it's so nice looking too.
It looks
Like,
great.
that thing is tiny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to fit in nice and cozy on any unit. So that's really awesome. Were there any actual games in particular from the showcase that stood out to you? Or
I got a bit excited with one because it said the company that brought you the Banner Saga, and I was like, oh fuck
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, 33
And-
Immortals, I think it was called. was it?
No, that's a different
No.
game.
Oh, sorry, I mixed it up. I'll be honest. I was watching this showcase, and I actually think it was a really good showcase, but I wasn't doing myself favors because I've been operating on such little sleep that I was struggling to stay awake while watching it. But I actually
no.
liked what they were doing. It was just my own
Yeah.
tiredness.
No, it was Towerborn.
Oh, okay. I don't remember this one.
Yeah, that's fine because I was looking at going, just no, give me Banner Saga. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. But I like the look of 33 Immortals. The 33 co-op thing seems pretty fun and cool.
Why did I think that was them? Were they close together, maybe?
No,
Not at all. In fact, they were in different showcases.
there were,
I don't know what you were watching.
33
Game
Immortals
show.
was close to the start. Towerborn was closer to Starfield. Actually, the two complete other ends of the showcase.
Okay. I'm a little bit disappointed in the showing of Hellblade 2, which I knew they'd show, and still no,
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I would have liked an actual gameplay sequence
It
beyond just
looks
that.
impressive.
It looks great.
It looks absolutely stunning. It looks like probably the best, in terms of fidelity, the best looking game of this generation.
Mine was
Yeah.
really weird.
But I have no idea. Like, that was such a poor showcase for that.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, don't get me wrong, sonically it's cool and stuff like that, but if you've played the first one, you already know, like, that's not new, right? So, I wanted to see how gameplay has improved, because it was the one thing that I only ever heard like praises of the first Hellblade, but it was all to do with the character and the storytelling, the mind stuff, and all that. A lot of people said they weren't crazy on the gameplay, so I wanted to see what they were going to do with the sequel to improve on that front to make this like a really exciting game, and to also still at this point, like, how many showcases have they shown this game, and still no actual release window?
3.
Yeah, I think that's a lot to still be wondering when is this game coming. Like, I think at the end it just said 2024 again, so it's like, oh, so it's pushed out to another year. Like, I think it was first shown at like the Game Awards 2020. Like,
I can't remember when.
that's
I
a
just
long
know
time.
It was shown when the Xbox Series X was announced. When was that? Do
Oh my god, that must have been 2019 then, was it?
you remember like the
Because
first,
they came out in 2020.
the first showcase for Hellblade, or at least the announcement of Hellblade, was with that Heilung song?
Yeah.
That had to have been 2019,
Yeah, probably.
because 2020 was the year the Xbox Series X and PS5 released.
And it was like, all it was just like that
Yeah.
aerial shot, and then it shows her face, and she's like doing that chant, and it looked awesome.
So
The
that's
second
how that's how long we've been talking about this game. Like,
the second showcase is the bit with gameplay though. They did have gameplay in the second one.
yes,
Running and
but
throwing a
this-
spear at a troll.
Yeah, but this third one,
felt
it's
more
like,
like a cinematic though. It didn't really feel like.
no, that was the gameplay.
Okay.
But I would love to have seen more of like, okay, how does that?
Yeah.
You know, does it always carry that kind of more cinematic gameplay style? It definitely needed. They needed more. Yeah.
Now I'd imagine it's getting a deeper dive anyway, in the same way as Starfield got. Down the line, when they do know that when they're releasing it, it's probably going to get a much deeper. This is what we have to do with it. Here's the gameplay.
Yeah.
Here's all the artists that worked on the game and that kind of concept art and stuff.
Mine was really weird though. Mine was really pixelated. So I don't know.
That
why.
could have been just the YouTube feed.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, it seemed like that. So while she looked great, because she was in such a dark cave, you had that weird, YouTube feed pixelation thing that happens. So I was like, I'm gonna assume the environment looks good too, but I don't really
Oh well,
know.
the environment was doing this weird kaleidoscopy kind of.
Yeah, it
thing.
was
Oh yeah, no, I
movies.
did see that, but I mean,
dope.
like the walls were doing the kaleidoscopy thing, but like even the ground or the water that wasn't, that was all like really heavily pixelated. So I was like,
That was really
Okay.
tripping.
No, it does look good, but I would like to have seen some more. What did you guys think of Starfield?
oh, we're just jumping.
That was like.
Well, was there anything
speaking-
else?
Speaking my
Richard
language.
Iowata.
Oh,
Just-
Fable, yeah.
That was that was a
well-
weird demonstration for Fable.
I don't know Fable. I don't know those games at all, but I know that
is
Xbox
a very
fans...
different.
Is
Fable,
it?
I think.
Mm.
Yeah, this looks like it's playing a little bit more on like English mythology, folklore stories, and Fable. While everyone was quite English and it was very kind of English in its design, the usual Fable I think was like just high fantasy. While this looked like it was taking inspiration from things like Jack and the Beanstalk.
But
Okay.
even the character designs, like if this, like I know there was cinematics before for Fable as well, but Fable tend to, I would say, had a kind of a Warcraft
Yeah.
art style a little bit.
Yeah.
If this cinematic is anything to go by the art style, then it looks like they're going a little bit more kind of realism.
Is that a bad
Would be-
thing?
Not a bad thing, but it just felt a little bit at odds with the way they presented it. I thought it was a bit comedy.
I mean, I've never played Fable. I've no interest in Fable, to tell the truth, but I know that it's a series that is exclusive to the Xbox that has huge weight and praise to it. So just to see it here at all was like, yay! Finally, something for the Xbox community to be excited about, like a little win there.
I know,
you know?
but that was also
So-
first mentioned when the Series X was announced.
It was with just like a
Title.
title trailer, really, not an actual. This is what the game will look like.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I have no idea. Maybe like I'd love to hear from Fable fans. Like, does this look great, or does it look?
Sure,
like
there's no game. What's there to...
No, but that was all in-engine stuff.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's still, and I think there was a lot of that at this showcase was that it's just cinematics rather
Right.
than actual gameplay. I think
Yeah.
it's really important to show gameplay.
I think
for games.
like the best blend of them was probably the Clockwork Revolution.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah, I like the look of that.
I quite liked the look of Flight Simulator. I thought that looked fucking dope.
Oh, fuck that. Yeah, Flight Simulator look amazing.
Well, Flight Simulator always looks amazing.
I was
But
watching that going like,
that was
holy
a good
crap.
showcase of like what that game is and what's it about and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you could look at that and go, I know what that is.
The other thing though is right. I totally get where you're coming from, right?
Yeah.
But if you're paid for Game Pass, you're not pre-ordering these games anyway.
Oh no!
And when they come out, you just try them, and if you don't like them, you just put it down again.
Yeah, I
Versus
am-
on the PlayStation, if you only ever saw cinematics, and you're gonna pay like 80 quid for a game nowadays,
you want a bit more.
you want to know for a fact this is something you're actually into.
I get
know?
that, but that's fine as long as you have an Xbox, right? But was there
Yeah.
anything here in this entire showcase that convinced Eric to buy one?
No.
And there won't until they strike that deal to make the next Mass Effect Xbox exclusive.
That
I
Evil
think,
Within, or
well,
they come out and go, here, hey, Epic Games, we're remaking Infinity Blade only for Xbox. I'm like, oh my god.
well, you do know that the next Evil Within, which there will be a next Evil Within, you do know it is an Xbox exclusive, right?
Yeah, but I'm going
Like, it
to hope
already
that
is.
I'm going to hope that Mass Effect 4 is out by that stage, and if that is Xbox exclusive, then I will get an Xbox. for
It
that.
won't be. I'm
It
only
won't be Xbox
jesting.
exclusive.
It won't be. If
No.
it would be a good idea if they could strike that deal for them, but
Even if it was like timed exclusive.
yeah, but it won't happen. It looks to me though throughout this presentation that they are getting very friendly with the Persona series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder, and it could be just speculation, but I wonder if that's a direct response to PlayStation's relationship with Final Fantasy, because
Maybe.
PlayStation don't own Final Fantasy, right?
Mhm.
But the Final Fantasy games are releasing exclusively on PlayStation. And there's still people to this day wondering when 7 Remake is coming to Xbox. Lads, it's not happening. 7 Remake is never coming to the Xbox. It is going to remain a PlayStation and PC game. And the same thing is going to happen with 16. It's going to come to the PS5 first, and then it will come to PC. It's not coming to Xbox. And I think the guys at Xbox know that. They know that there's a huge JRPG series out there that they don't have. And I wonder, are they like, let's start building relationships with some of the other big JRPG series to make sure that we don't lose them at some point. Like, keep a really good relationship with them.
Yeah, because
there was 3 Persona games shown
there's
throughout the
3
showcase.
Persona games, and then the guys who made Persona are making another game, Metaphor Refantasia, or whatever it was called.
Right.
Right.
So,
So
that's a lot.
yeah. That's-
Likely.
Yep.
Just a wondering I had.
Yeah.
But yeah, Starfield.
Yeah. That was
Are we any more convinced? Are we?
that was speaking my language. when I
Yeah?
was- yeah.
Showed
when
you
I
all
was
the
like-
gameplay.
I think it was a bit too long of a showcase. Like
Very
it was
long.
basically like a couple of minutes in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'll play that.
Right, I'm
But
saying,
then
I'm
it-
like,
then
yeah,
it- then
I'd
it
play
kept
it.
going, and I was like, okay,
Yeah, but that watch, Adam.
no.
Just,
The-
I will say, when I got to the point where it was showing like you can get into like the underbelly of the galaxy, the kind of criminal underworld type stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's where I was like, oh, that looks cool.
Oh yeah,
Well, I was like,
actually, that Star Wars Outlaws thing looked pretty good. I know it's only
Oh,
cinematic, but
well,
that looks
I-
pretty exciting.
I actually caught on sorry, just to segue for a moment, I caught
Yeah.
on YouTube as well. I haven't watched the presentation, but as part of Summer Game Festival, Ubisoft have a presentation.
Mm.
I caught 3 videos from that. One of them being Assassin's Creed Mirage, looks very like old school Assassin's Creed. The other one was the Avatar game, Frontiers of Pandora.
Okay.
It is first person. The graphics look cool and all, but I don't think it's a good idea what they're doing. And then the other one was the Star Wars game, the show gameplay. Pretty cool. Nice to have a blaster based.
Yeah, I
Star
don't
Wars
like
game.
the Empire being in it because I'm getting sick of the Empire. But other than that, it looks pretty cool.
Right, but that is Star Wars, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be though.
It doesn't have to be, but
They're fucking milking the shit out of it. But anyway, Starfield. We'll go back to Starfield. We're milking
I know.
the shit out of the Empire.
I feel like they're making another Lord of the Rings
Starfield.
thing with Mordor. Come on, I'm sick of Mordor.
The thing that really stuck to where I was like, yeah, I'm loving the direction you're going with this was when they described it as NASA punk, I think is what they
Yeah,
called it.
that was cool.
Mm.
And they were like talking about their approach to interior design being this lo-fi analog, and I'm like, this is Alien, this is
I thought the
Star
same thing.
Wars, this is Prometheus. Like,
Yeah,
I
aesthetically.
love that that approach. But then there's other parts of it where it's like, well, that looks like Mass Effect, right? So there's like this really clean cut, very sleek looking designs.
Yeah,
like,
the
oh,
the
man.
kind of like
New Atlantis.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very
And
like
when
the
it's
Citadel.
like going through it, I was like, like the way they approach this, I kind of wish they made like the Cyberpunk games.
Sure.
Because that they are great at RPGs, right? And then it takes you to that fucking neon place, and it's like it is cyberpunky, and I'm like, oh fuck yes.
Yeah.
So and then there's like this other place that's like this like weird kind of frontier, so it's a little bit Fallout-y kind of Tatooine look to it as well.
Yeah.
So it manages to capture like, I'd say they were looking at pop culture going like, what's all the space shit? Let's just put it all in here. It's like,
Right. Yeah. In the same way as like the Elder Scrolls is all high fantasy, like Dungeons and Dragons and Tolkien and whatever else you could think of thrown
Yeah.
into one. Fallout is.
well, it's Mad Max and the kind of
Yeah,
post-apocalyptic kind of
yeah.
water world.
Without the water.
The
So
gameplay
desert
here
world.
is looking pretty good too. Like there's elements of it as well that it's a bit like No Man's Sky, only it looks like it might work.
Yeah.
But that's the part where I'm like, okay, like I'm loving the look of all of this. Now it doesn't really matter because I have Game Pass, but
Right.
there's still an element of like, you've burned me before. I don't know.
See,
You're really good at lying. Like you're really, really good at lying.
I'm
You're the ultimate
not
hype man.
I'm not sold at this game. It's why this game is not convincing me to buy an Xbox. I was throughout this going, yeah, I'll probably play it at one of your houses or something, because I'm sure you used to probably want to show it off. So like that's grand. Because to me, it's like, you're saying all these great things, you're saying all these cool things. This looks too perfect to work. And I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to smash and break and crash.
Yeah,
Well,
because I mean, apart
right.
from just this studio, it's
all
like,
other studios were
yeah,
having like big problems.
Cyberpunk kind of shows, that was game breaking. No Man's Sky, that was game breaking. Then they had Fallout 76 from this studio, game breaking. So
Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Survivor was breaking.
was it?
Oh,
Yeah.
broke like fuck. Now, in saying that, we both really enjoyed the game. It's a really good game. And it's a shame that it has those breaks because people fucking destroyed it as a result. Like, especially the PC version.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
so
God.
Well known, doesn't it?
PC people nowadays have just had like the worst luck with games. So, and considering Bethesda's games have such a high like notoriety with the PC people because they love to mod it, that I don't know if any of them ever actually play the game. I think they just kind of get it and mod the crap out of it straight away.
Right.
So could you imagine if this game starts to break on them?
Well, I don't know a single Bethesda game that is extremely polished. Like every single one of them glitch.
No.
So,
But they did show that sometimes the bodies go a bit ragdolly. when they die
Yeah.
or something, so they did kind of acknowledge that.
So this is definitely one to like wait to see what the reviews are like, see how playable it is. But based on what they're shown, like I had no interest in this game at all, but
Yeah.
I am now interested in this because I love the art style, the aesthetics. I think the gameplay looks solid. The choices, like, it just bring me back to that kind of my approach to Tears of the Kingdom, where I'm not even doing the main story, I'm just doing my own shit. This looks like it has fucking everything you would want to do. Like if they put a xenomorph in this game,
Yeah, I do hope there's some like freaky, scary alien shit in the dark depths of space. But I imagine there is, right?
I imagine there probably is.
If you can't do all this other stuff and not at some point go, because even you played the Elder Scrolls games and there's like horror chapters with like the cults and stuff. So it's like,
Well, there was
at some point there's
a,
got to be some side quest that's like alien parasites.
there
or
was
something.
one clip where there was like an animal walking in the dark and some weird big giant spider creature jumped on it.
It was a freaky ass octopus with spider legs, and I was like, I now have a new worst fear.
There was that as well. There was the octopus
Right.
that ran at you, but this was actually like a giant shell, like covered in shit, and I don't know how you pronounce that word, but like spider just leaped off a building onto the animal. And I thought, it's like, okay, now they're going to delve into maybe some dark, mysterious threat. And then they kind of didn't, and they kind of just moved off. And I was like,
I think they're keeping that mystery on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
looks like there's magic. There was a quick...
they kind of
clip.
look like they might get. I don't know if it would be magic as such, but probably augmentations.
Something
Cyberpunk?
maybe similar to Mass Effect.
It looks like there's a
mass relay
point when,
abilities.
when your man kind of turns his wrist and kind of closes his fist, and everyone just shot up and then fall back down. And I was like, oh, is there magic?
Yeah,
in
I'm
this?
wondering if it's like anti-gravity kind of.
Well, maybe it's that instead.
Yeah, I think it's more sci-fi. But yeah, the one thing is like I've kind of always been interested in this game and kind of excited for it. There is an element of, it's like Game Pass is like a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean? I don't need to build up any kind of anticipation, like, oh, let me wait and see what the reviews are like, and should I pre-order anything like that, because I'm gonna just play it because I have Game Pass. And if they delay it, it's like, that's fine, I'll just play it when it comes out. There won't be that sense of, oh man, I was gonna like book that weekend off and go in and pick up the game physically, which is gonna get harder and harder nowadays. But do you know that kind of thing of like when you're really excited for a game and you're keeping an eye on that game? And I feel like Game Pass, as great a service as it is, eliminates that. For me personally, I don't know about other people, but it eliminates that excitement and that anticipation, because it's just, once it's there, I'll play it. And if I don't like it, I'll stop playing it. And if I do like it, I'll keep playing it. That's it.
I think it's more to do with the games, because I guarantee if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was available on Xbox and coming to Game Pass, you'd still be excited. You'd be excited for that,
Possibly.
like waiting for that release day and knowing that you can just like press a button and it will install on the day, so that when you turn it on the day of launch, there it is, it's available to play.
Ready.
I think it says more about the games that are available.
But then I wouldn't have the case.
We're getting to the point where we won't anyway.
Yeah, I know, but for as long as we can, I will continue to buy them.
Yeah.
You know? Because
but
I know
I
next generation.
Let's pretend it's a world where there are no cases.
Right.
No more cases.
And that game was coming to Game Pass.
I think it says more about the games.
Maybe you're onto something. So maybe I'm casually excited about Starfield, and I can wait for it. Maybe that's
it's probably the same feeling we're all feeling. It's like, this sounds
like
too
cool
good to be true.
Right, especially when they say things like 1,000 planets to explore, and I'm like, that does not interest me.
Heard it
in
before?
the slightest.
Yeah.
Say 100. Say 100 completely different planets. I'll believe you, and that's loads.
Or just say many. Don't put a number on it. Just say there's many worlds to explore.
And then just show the different worlds, and you'll be
show
like,
different
wow.
worlds, and we will keep updating the game to add more worlds as the colonies
I think the question
keep expanding.
is probably
something like that.
thousands of planets. Is that procedurally generated? Because then that's
Has to be.
That's like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, has to be.
I
how
think
else could you
the
do it?
examples that came before them, unfortunately, is making this look unbelievable.
I wonder then if they can nail it. Is it a case of people will admire it more because it'll be a thing of no one else was able to do this, and they fucking managed to pull it off. You know what I mean? Like if they pull it
Yeah.
off, and it works really well, and it is like groundbreaking, and every planet you go to, you're like, wow, how come this looks so different to every other planet, and something new and exciting to see here, and you're just like, they did it, man. They did the impossible. We all said that it couldn't be done, kind of thing. Versus the possible actual narrative, which is it's not gonna it's not gonna be that exciting. That
I hope
aspect of the game.
this turns out really, really well. Not because I'm overly excited about the game, but I would like to see Bethesda return to form and like kind of restore hope, and that the next Elder Scrolls and everything will go smoothly, because it'll just break the morale of the the people working on the games.
Yeah, and I also want I actually want a big win for Xbox. I want a couple of games to come out that make PlayStation sweat a little bit, because
Yeah, the competition is important.
competition is very important. Like the console war, which is like a fun thing or whatever, is a
I hate
good
it.
but it's good for business. It's
It's
really
very good
good
for business. Yeah.
because if you're not trying to push the boundaries further to make sure your console is selling more,
Mhm.
then you become complacent and you just make any old game, because it's like it's fine, we're on top, we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it
So-
almost becomes like the sort of certain movie industry where they kind of just got very complacent and were able to release whatever
Yeah,
they
it gets
wanted.
formulaic, and you go,
Yeah,
well, this is fine and all. It is of a certain quality, but it's the same every time, and now I'm sick of it.
Yeah, because the games I'm most
You need-
excited for, even on the PlayStation side of things, are actually from third party, and it's what's happening in Japan.
Yeah, man. What else is happening in Japan?
Well, just anything from Capcom and Square Enix is just like that's
They're
dope.
killing it, right? They're
Yeah.
absolutely killing it. There is we won't have seen it because of the time of recording and stuff like that, but apparently there's a Capcom showcase too. I might check it out tomorrow at some point. I imagine it's going to be very Street Fighter heavy and Exo Primal. Like it probably won't be much on Resident Evil, but there could be something on RE4 VR, which could be exciting, and maybe RE4 DLC coming down the line. Like the whole we speculated that we'd get the Ada Wong, separate ways thing.
that'd be nice.
So that could be cool.
But yeah, like I remember the first time they announced Starfield, and I got very excited for that
Yeah,
because I was really wanting a next Mass Effect, and I was like,
Right.
what's the guys who made Skyrim? That's
Yeah,
gonna be awesome.
yeah,
And then they announced Mass Effect 4, and I was like, oh well, never mind.
right. I'm
And then
surprised.
it
I'm
seems-
surprised we haven't seen any more on that. At any
Same.
point.
But
Right.
this will give you more choice than Mass Effect ever will, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it will.
Of course it will.
But sometimes I think giving a game and a player too much almost takes away everything. If
Well,
that
it's
kind of
an
makes sense.
RPG, then like a proper RPG.
I don't think.
But what I mean though is like when you have the likes of like Red Dead 2, like there's just so much to Red Dead 2, you almost do nothing because you're just like, I actually don't have time to do all this stuff.
Yeah,
So almost a much more clean, polished set of choices is sometimes nicer, I find.
I like the world we live in where we get both. I'm really happy to play both. I'm like, I'll play Starfield, make my character do what I want, and I'm also incredibly excited that they're gonna do more Mass Effect.
Also,
I
I would have
love those games.
I would have liked aliens, like sentient, conversational aliens in Starfield as well.
Maybe there is.
Well, no, as in that you can make an alien and play as an alien.
Oh, sure.
As
Well,
so-
it is. Yeah, that is a weird omission actually.
Because I kind
for
of
the
would have
different
liked,
races.
yeah, I would have liked this to have been a mashup of Fallout and Elder Scrolls. That's everything they've learned from these games, mashing it together to create this sci-fi, science fantasy, whatever way you want to call it, game. And you can add in like the politics of races having to deal with trade, like doing trade routes and stuff. You can still do lots of cool spacey stuff with it. But then at least you have, again, even more variety because now you have to create all these different races and stuff.
It tells me then that because with the way Bethesda makes games and how choice based they are, it tells me that there's a narrative reason why you have to be human in this game.
Yeah, I probably imagine that because they decided to go down that they coined that word NASA punk. That
It will be 2001 Space Odyssey, Event Horizon, that side of...
well, it's like it's humans that explored
Yeah,
the
it's
galaxy.
about
Like, it'd be very strange to come across another creature that's like, built like us but different face and speaks our language. It's like
it's
on
about
that
it.
side of thing.
The role play is you are going to explore
Yes.
space,
Yeah.
not you could be an
You
alien.
can be an alien.
That's not the fantasy. Whereas in Elder Scrolls or whatever, yes, of course, it's it's Dungeons and Dragons, so you could be anything.
Be a different race, different
You
class.
could be a different
Yeah.
because it's a total fantasy. This is you are going to travel space. What will you do when we present you with these options in space? I think is what I get from it, especially with the whole NASA inspired thing, which is really cool. But yeah,
But
I'm
then I
excited.
would,
I
in
think
that
they
case, I
maybe
would have
showed too much.
rathered. Yeah, they showed way too much. It was a very long showcase. But I think in that case, I would have rathered early space exploration.
Based in the 60s, like
No.
bum 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 bum. Ba ba da ba da. What a thrill! Do 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 do. You could
But
play.
Eric-
No, as in, like you don't have your 5 or 6 well-built cities across the stars.
Okay.
Oh right, I get you. Like the
So
early days of establishing. So
establishing a
you're-
colony.
So like interstellar, like era type thing of like they're starting to set up
a little bit further than Interstellar, but so as the game goes,
ending of Interstellar.
sure, maybe 20, 30 years from that. But my point is that then as the game progresses, you're seeing the colonies build, and then maybe you start to see the factions build, and then you start to see the divide of humanity. And maybe that could have been a really interesting thing to explore. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being one of those.
Dope.
I think I'm being a nitpicking prick and just being like, nope.
And you know what? That's fine. There's always one of us, Sometimes two of us are very excited about a 7 Rebirth trailer, and one of us is like, I didn't even notice Red 13 was playable in it. That happens. That's fine.
It looks very good, but it looks too good to be true.
Honestly, they didn't need to show me anything.
They just needed to say the words NASA
Punk.
Just
done. Dusted.
No. For Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
No,
all they needed to say was 2 discs. I'm sold. That's it. I'm buying.
And the date.
No, don't give me a date even. Just say something
Don't
a
care
year.
what the date is.
Yeah. Just make sure it's on 2 discs.
I bought it.
Oh,
so I don't care when it's out.
100%. Honestly,
Yeah.
if the trailer looked like shit as well, like if it looked crap, if it looked like a total mess, I'd still pre-order it. I have to know what happens next. I just need to see this interpretation. Coolaboola. We're coming towards the end of the episode. Eric, you did mention that you checked out the Future Game Show, which we haven't. Was there anything in particular from that you think is worth shouting out? You said it was quite a long showing.
Yeah, it was a long one. I was starting to fall asleep. I was getting real tired that day, that night. So, again, actually, to be honest, still the banter between Laura and Yuri was quite nice. That was quite good. So it would always cut to them nearly after every game or two.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have a little witty banter, and then they'd go world premiere or something, and they'd say themselves. So at least there was a little bit more variety than just
They do that every year, you know that, don't you? They get two different
people to host to the future. But this wasn't as corny. I think the last one I saw was really corny and cheesy. This was less so.
The last one was Christopher Judge and the one who does Freya, I think.
Oh, what's the one? There's
No. The last, sorry, that was the year before. The last one was Brianna White. Is that her name? And Cody Christian. It was Cloud and Aerith.
Oh, which one am I thinking of then? Where they were like in a mech suit and a computer simulation, and there was all this weird.
Oh, that's the PC gaming showcase.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of. It was super corny. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, there was just some pretty cool. They looked more like kind of slightly more indie style games, but they looked pretty cool.
Awesome.
I think Last Fate was a pretty good one. That kind of looked like a side scrolling, sort of like Bloodborne. It looked very Bloodborne, but like a side scrolling sort of game, like Blasphemous, actually. Then there was there was one game you play as like a little devil, It's made by the same people as Dragon Ball, and you like drive around in a dusty
Oh, I
tank,
thought I saw
go through the
that.
desert.
That was on during Summer Game Fest as well, so they must have
Yeah.
reshowed it.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it
there's a
was,
few.
yeah.
Yeah, unless I'm just mixing up all the games again, which is quite possible. There's
No,
three
because like
showcases.
there's a few of them where they said you will see more of this at this showcase and stuff like that. Like there was a few
Oh.
games where, for example, the Xbox One, the Star Wars Outlaws, Ubisoft have shown gameplay for that
Right. Okay. Yeah.
because that's their game.
Hmm.
It's just that they let Xbox announce it first.
I
what I
really
mean?
wish
So-
they would fucking coordinate things a bit better and not do that. Like I'd rather same with the way the Spider-Man date was announced at
That's why
Summer
I
Game
think.
Fest.
That's why I think that was a.
Last minute kind of shoved that in.
Yeah, I really think that was a response to the. People were not happy that they didn't.
But
have
it wasn't
a release
long
date.
after though, was it?
Exactly. So it was
So
a
it seems
fuck.
a bit
We better.
weird.
we better-
And he's like super confident that they'll meet that date. No, it's like
Yeah, it's like pleasing the masses. Like otherwise, if surely they would have had that just in the PlayStation Showcase if they already knew that was the date.
unless
they didn't.
they
Had
agreed.
they had it ended with fall 2023. The trailer.
Yeah, but unless they actually agreed with Jeff that they'd have something for thing, and they're like, "Well, what can we show him? We're after doing everything. I don't know, give him the date or something."
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's how thoughtless it felt.
Yeah, that's why I think it was just
I just don't think you would have
Jeff. Can you
like-
fit us in? We need to instill some confidence.
because well, I can't see that just because of how long it would take to organize. Like Jeff would have all that lineup months ago.
Oh, I know. Which is why it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't put that date in the PlayStation Showcase.
Unless there was like a thing where it's like, well, they're getting paid. Like each of these people will get probably some sort of, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, we
Possibly.
promised them what we showed them. It's
Like, what can
oh,
we hold
fuck,
off
well,
on? Because we really
we
want to
got?
show this gameplay at the showcase.
Maybe
Our
the
own
date.
showcase. I don't actually know why they did a PlayStation Showcase, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Like, had they put that
I
Spider-Man...
actually really liked Summer Game Fest. It was a great replacement for E3. But
Yeah.
I think they need to disband basically all the other ones and just
Yeah.
that's it. Just fucking grab a slot on that, and if
Yeah.
you can't make it, oh well.
Yeah, one show, buckle in,
Yeah.
watch it, be blown away, have them all compete with each other. Because they didn't have that thing of like, it's like, oh, we're PlayStation, best of luck, guys, but we're hoping to really show you up with our trailer. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There'd be that element of like, because obviously, yeah, like,
Yeah,
at
but
your, at your own
I hope
showcase, you're going to look great, but
I hope they don't say that though. If they did that, I hope they
No.
don't talk like that because
no, they wouldn't talk. I don't.
I
believe
hope
that.
they don't act like fucking school kids.
Although it was
It's
great.
just all fun and games, like.
Yeah,
But
do you
that
remember-
would be good. It would be good to have like a week of it's Summer Game Fest, right? So then you have Summer Game Fest main show, Summer Game Fest PlayStation Showcase, Summer Game Fest Xbox Showcase.
I thought
Like,
that's what it was anyway.
It kind of is,
It
but
kind
it's a
of,
little
but
bit
not
of
with
a
all-
mishmash of like
yeah.
some of them are a developer doing a showcase, some
Yep.
of them are and PlayStation decided to do their showcase what the week before or 2 weeks before. Like, why didn't they coordinate and do it during Summer Game Fest? Like, why did they do it then? I don't know.
Hmm.
It was funny though when we were saying this before, Adam, myself and Eric, when we watched the PlayStation Showcase. Like immediately afterwards, Xbox put out a tweet of all the games that were shown during
That
the
are
showcase
also
that are
coming out.
coming to Xbox. They said, "What a great list of games coming to Xbox."
Yeah.
Which
That's
I was
funny.
like, "That's really good. I like that. Like, that's really good." I
Yeah.
was kind of wondering where PlayStation going to do something similar after the Xbox Showcase. Look at all these games coming to PlayStation.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few third-party ones in there.
Just before we finish up on Starfield, one of the things I've seen, well, I've seen a good few places now, in terms of criticism towards the game, was in their decision to make it 30 frames per second.
I've seen that
Oh, yeah.
too.
And
Yeah,
it's almost like as if like you know you had to find something to complain about because
I-
it genuinely looked good, right?
it does.
And I don't see 30 frames per second like that choice to make it 30 frames per second. I don't see that as being a negative whatsoever, considering what else is in it.
So I think this is where the outrage comes from. I'm not really bothered by it. Tell you the truth, I'm so untechnologically minded. Like I've got that Nakey Jakey goblin brain thing going on. I don't know what's what. You're telling me something 60 FPS. You're telling me something's 30 FPS. I don't actually know what that means. Like if I look at a screen on its own, I couldn't tell you which one that is. You would have to show me the two side by side, and then I go, "Oh, that must be the like." I don't know. Okay,
It's a feeling. You can, if you play 60 frames long enough and go to 30 frames, you'll notice a difference very quickly.
sure.
Like,
What I'm trying to
a
say,
good place to like where you'll really notice that is like with Spider-Man. Like you play Spider-Man for a while, right?
you're right.
Then switch it over to
The
the
Last of Us.
fidelity mode. No, fidelity mode, right?
Oh,
Same
okay.
game. Same game. So you're swinging around New York.
Yeah.
It's likely, if you have it just on the basic settings, it's likely 60 frames. Switch it over to the graphics mode, you will notice it. Like it'll make a huge
Okay,
difference.
I was gonna say something else, but let me just for a moment because I'm an idiot. So, which one looks better?
Well, graphics would look better.
So that's what is 30 FPS graphics mode and 60 FPS is performance mode. You know what they say?
Yes.
Graphics
Generally,
mode
yes.
or performance mode?
Yes.
I don't know what that means.
Yes.
So
graphics mode generally is within the 30 to 40 frames. And
so when someone
performance
says
mode is 60 up.
So when someone says this game is 30 FPS only, it means it's going to look great, but it might not run great. Is that what it means?
It's going to run slow.
It's gonna, yeah. It's like
it's like
it's not gonna be as smooth. All right, it'll still run great, but it won't be as smooth.
Yeah.
And the reason they're locking it to that is that they're wanting to use a lot of the resources towards the graphic fidelity. That's
because of all the planets and things, right? Okay.
Right. Again, graphically, it looked really good,
yeah.
and like the people looked great.
So this is where I think the outrage comes from. Redfall's release.
Mm-hmm.
When that was initially shown, the first impressions, gameplays for gaming journalists and stuff, they were playing a 60 FPS version on PC.
Mm-hmm.
And they were raving about that. And only like very close to the release of the game, they came out and said Redfall would be locked to 30 FPS. And people are really mad because we're like, it's a fast-paced shooter game. It's not a beautiful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then it came out, and there's lots of issues with that game, supposedly, and people really didn't like it. It was Xbox's first-party game for the Series X, after like Halo Infinite. So people are really mad at that, and they're looking for Xbox to instill some confidence in it. I think what it is here with this is they like everything they saw, but when that wasn't mentioned during the showcase at all, any clarification on that, and then they just kind of find out afterwards as if it's a secret, like we don't really want to talk about it. I think what it does is it creates a feeling of we don't fucking trust you. Now, I'm not sharing that rage or anything like that, but I think that's where it's coming from.
Maybe I don't know much about the because Redfall is the same producer, isn't it? So
and Phil Spencer did I thought it was a great interview. I thought the internet was very harsh. People were asking for him to be fired and everything. It was ridiculous.
That's the internet.
That's just the internet, right?
Yeah.
But I thought he was really humble and very honest, and like he did it with the Kind of Funny X cast. And he was initially coming on. They already had him scheduled in, and they were just going to talk about Xbox. But they had to change the topic because Redfall had just released. It was a disaster of a release, and they're like, "Phil, we got to ask you about this." And they were asking questions like, "So in the future, when you announce more games, will you be more transparent about what we can expect?" And he said, "Yes, we will." So I think people are picking up on that a little bit, and they're like, why is Starfield, which is the next big game, why is it locked at 30 FPS?
Yeah, it's to me it just seems like an excuse to shit on them.
Right, because they're still mad. That's what I think I'm getting at. They're still mad, and they're looking for a reason to be mad.
Because I know it's the last generation and all, but The Last of Us was 30 frames per second. The Last of Us Part 2 was 30 frames per second. God of War was 30 frames per second. Uncharted all the way up to Uncharted 4 was 30 frames per second. Spider-Man was 30 frames per second. Like, yes, you could play it at 60 on the newer consoles if they've upgraded them.
Yeah.
But I think if you're playing a single player experience, generally that doesn't really matter. If
No,
it
because
was
everyone is
multiplayer,
moving.
high speed, like Call of Duty, I understand you should be aiming for a 60 frames per second. Like when you play Uncharted 4 on the PS4, 30 frames per second for the campaign, multiplayer 60 frames per second.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. And there is a huge difference on the graphics fidelity between those two modes.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. This is the longest episode we've done in a while. We're going to finish up, but there was a lot to talk about. It was good to catch up. But just before we finish up, there was during Summer Game Festival, there was a Final Fantasy 16 launch celebration thing. I haven't seen anything, but the demo is now available for people to play.
Cool.
It is a 2-hour demo. Supposedly, it is the beginning of the game. I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to playing it. And
Is that like a time thing like Resident Evil is?
No, I think there is a cutoff point as opposed to so that it's not like if you just spend too long in one area. I think there's a cutoff point, which is basically like the 2-hour mark. But your progress will carry over. So you won't have to restart the game all over again. So it's really give people a taste of what to expect, and then that last push of, so do you want to get the game kind of thing.
Look at these Japanese studios fucking popping
I'm
out these
fucking
demos
telling you,
and everything,
man. So I have installed it. I'm gonna play it tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe we'll give impressions of that down the line. And the release is imminent, so I'm excited for Final Fantasy 16. So let us know if you've been playing the demo. What do you think of it? What was your favorite reveal personally from the entire Summer Game Fest? So, you guys watch this YouTube, jump down in the comments, share your thoughts on everything we brought up, but also anything that we didn't that you're really excited for. And if you enjoyed this discussion, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell for all future content. To those of you listeners on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on Summer Game Fest. Thank you very much for checking out this week's episode, guys. We'll be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.